And here he is after that introduction. So, Ryan Hybl, good to see you, pal.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Coming off a big win of the Big 12 championship, and that's been pretty easy these last 5 years. No, it hasn't, but this year you did win by a big margin. But you've won 2 straight Big 12s and 3 of the last 5.
Yeah, first of all, it's never easy, especially in our conference. I mean, with the Oklahoma State guys, University of Texas, Texas Tech, we've got so many great programs in our conference. I would argue in the last 10 years we've been the best men's golf conference in the country. So just really excited for not just what we were able to do this week, but as we continue to move forward and the growth of our program. I mean, the last 2 years when, these conference championships it's truly been special.
You had 3 guys that played at Prairie Dunes, which is very difficult, and especially when the weather attacks, which it did with you guys up near Wichita. And so you have 3 guys in the top 6, which really helps. Your other 2 contributed, but what was it? Welch, Goodman, and Lorenz, all in the top 6.
Yeah, I mean, in order to win, you're going to have guys at the top, and we had multiple guys, trying to contend. Prairie Dunes is such a special place.
Yeah.
Perry Maxwell, we all know how special of a golf course designer he was. Being from Oklahoma, he's got so many golf courses in our own state, and I think Prairie Dunes is his gem of all gems. I would argue that it's the best golf course in the central part of the country, and you're going to get weather. That's part of it. You get wind. We got some cold. We actually avoided the rain a little bit, which was amazing. But it's just a dogfight for 72 holes, and that's what separates our championship from others. 72 holes, stroke play, and we were fortunate to come out on top.
Well, you call it fortunate you beat the runner-up Texas Tech by 18 shots, and you mentioned the 2 programs, Blue Bloods. Texas, you beat them by 24 shots, and OSU by 25. Was it a toughness issue? Because the scores you guys shot, you were the only team under par, -1.
Yeah, I mean, 5 guys going around Prairie Dunes and getting it under par with the conditions, I thought that was very, very special for us. I feel like that's what we try and do throughout our entire year, from August until right now, is to promote toughness and understanding what it means to grit out every single shot. But there's also just a part of execution that has to be had, right?
Yeah.
And you have to have the talent, number one. You have to have the grit and the toughness. And I just feel like our guys executed well. We understand, Prairie Dunes, you can actually short side yourself all over that golf course as long as you're chipping back into the breeze. Mm-hmm. The breeze is everything.
Breeze is being kind, by the way.
I mean, I'm just going to tell you, a long chip up and over with an infinity pool running away from you downwind is no fun. So sometimes actually being short-sighted out there back into the breeze is just as important as anything. And so we prepare for that actually the week prior to, and just thinking about it and making sure our guys were ready to really get out and run. We've had a hard time this spring getting off to good starts. We've been great at closing, great all spring long at closing. But our starts have not been phenomenal, and we got off to a great start, and we just kind of dug our heels in and didn't let it go.
So you win the conference, 3rd time in 5 years. Now you move on to a regional again, and you're hosting the Norman Regional, and you're looking to make it to a 12th straight, the only school that will have done that, or even now at 11 straight NCAA championships. But your tournament, you've got to be excited about hosting in a couple of weeks down at Jimmy Austin.
We're always excited about hosting.
Gallery, you want some fans.
We want fans, but it's becoming normal for us to be able to host, and our fans are expecting us to go out and do well, which is really fun for our guys to be able to go perform. I mean, that's what we are. We're performers. We're in the entertainment business, and our guys have to enjoy playing in front of crowds. And hosting allows us to be able to do that. So we're really excited. It's always interesting whenever you're hosting. The first day and a half, you can sense some nerves because it's unique to play at home. But then usually the guys kind of settle in. So hopefully we can do a little bit better job of settling in a little bit quicker this year and get out there and the goal is going to be to have 5 guys trying to win the individual championship, and if you do that, then you're going to have a great chance from the team perspective.
You expect and hope to advance to the NCAA championships. I played Greyhawk a few times. That's a tough challenge out at Scottsdale. Mm-hmm. The Sooners have 6 times since you've been here now. You've made it to the, what would it be, the quarters, 2 times into the finals, and won a national championship in 17.
Yeah, it's so unique, our championship. You start with regionals, right? And it's not given that you're going to make it through regionals. Right. A lot of other sports, I feel like you can almost guarantee yourself out. That's not the way it happens in our sport. I mean, we know how fickle our game can be. You show up one week, the next week you don't, right?
5 from each region.
Five from each region advance. And so getting through regionals is extremely difficult every year. 2 years ago, we almost won the national championship. That would have been in 2021, but in Albuquerque at regionals, we almost didn't make it.
Right.
So that's, it's just a fine line that you're walking every single year. And so we don't look ahead. Regionals, even though we're hosting, it's going to be focused in purely on how do we go attack Jimmy Austin, even though we played every day, and navigate through that, and then we'll start worrying about Greyhawk after that.
Coach, to say you're on par, pardon the pun, with these other blue blood programs is really sliding you to a degree, quite frankly. But the question I get is, how does he do it? Because of the tradition at other places, and the answers that I get are always focus on local kids, but also tough, grind it out. You've already mentioned that. Are those some of the keys to your philosophy and success?
Well, I mean, certainly our local recruiting has always been a priority of mine. I think playing golf in Oklahoma, you have to understand what you're getting into. Mm-hmm. I grew up in Georgia, and I thought I knew what hitting in the center of the face meant until I moved out here. And, you start playing in the wind and the conditions, and you really have to understand trajectory. You have to really be in control of your golf ball and the flight. And so for that, I think our guys are in such an advantageous state if they work on their game and they do it properly throughout their college career. Junior golf has been really good to us with our in-state guys. And I don't even want to say in-state, just our regional, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. We've gotten, a couple guys out of Nebraska as well. And these guys understand what it takes to go grind out a round, which is what we saw up at Prairie Dunes. So it's something that we certainly focus in on with our regional recruiting. But I can tell you, there's so many things that allow us to be who we are, Dean. When I got here in 2009, our golf team was not maybe in a very good spot. But program-wise, I was gifted a lot of great former players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're seeing Coach Venables do the same thing right now, where he's bringing everybody together, and not everybody has that with their golf program. And you take, go back into the 70s and 80s and 90s, and we just had this great group of guys, and they wanted to see us be successful. And so I've leaned on them a lot over the years, and they've wrapped their arms around our program, and they call our guys and text our guys all the time after tournaments, whether it's good or bad. And I think that's truly one of our secret sauces that we have, is just our former players and the amount of supporters that we have within the state, in the Dallas area. It's just amazing. Number one, how well everybody thinks of amateur golf in the state of Oklahoma, and then college golf. And I'm not afraid to say thank you to Oklahoma State, who's created this monster up in Stillwater, and they've allowed I think others within this state to realize, well, we can do this at the University of Oklahoma too. Well, that's exactly the attitude I had when I got here in 2009. I'm like, this place we can get it done here. It's just a matter of accumulating the right amount of people, and all of us working towards the same common goal. And before you know it, you look up, and we've been able to recruit talented folks with the same mission, which is to come in and work every single day and get better. And just really thankful for where I'm at and the culture that we have at the University of Oklahoma. We have winning at every sport. It's amazing. We just were at the softball field this past week. They honored us. But more importantly, the guys got to go down the field. I got to toss out the first pitch, which was terrible. It was high and inside.
I heard all about it. Yeah.
But for our guys to be able to see that constantly, they're in there working out with them, they're eating with them full time. It's just amazing what winning produces throughout a full athletic department.
There are some, I don't know the number, 11 or 12 that you've gotten into the pros, I guess starting with Abe Answer, and it runs all the way through to these most recent. But going back to the junior golf, this guy, by the way, was the #1 junior golfer in America, Georgia high school, and played at Georgia, three-time All-American and an academic guy too. But Nate, you'll remember, his brother Nate Hybl, tremendous quarterback here at Oklahoma. How's old Nate doing?
Nate's doing great.
Yeah.
He's in the restaurant business. He has 14, I believe, of his own stores in the Atlanta area. It's called Gusto, and he's just absolutely crushing it. We're so proud of him. He's dug in his heels, and it's a tough business, and they made it through COVID, which was really difficult in the restaurant world, but just really excited about, the future of his company and what he's able to do. He has a new baby boy, Isaiah, with his wife Justine, and they're doing fantastic.
Man, awesome guy. All right, well you've got some money into the program. You've got some facilities that are coming along, big dollar stuff, and the recruiting in the state. I think it's maybe the last 7, and there's different ways to grade these golfers, but arguably you have signed the top last 7 #1 players in the state of Oklahoma, and I know those guys are looking forward to playing in that facility, and some are doing it now or will once it's completed.
Yeah, again, I'm going back to 2009 when I got here. We knew that we had to make changes to our facility.
Oh, yeah.
So the first goal was the outside, the green space. That's like our golfers' heaven, and I want them to feel every single day when they walk out that they are super proud of their facility, and we're as good as anybody in the country when it comes to our green space and what our guys can do day in, day out. Then the focus was going to be back on the inside, the performance side. So that's where we're heading right now. We're excited about our new plans. We're going to be redoing the Charlie Coast Center and also adding a performance center out on the driving range as well. So there's absolutely zero excuses. There's already zero excuses, but even moving forward, there's going to be that much less opportunity for excuses for our guys, and we're just going to try and do anything we can to help our guys get better.
Maybe a silly question, but these guys have to go to school too, and I don't think people appreciate the amount of time that is devoted to a sport. I know in football it's just almost around the clock and around the calendar. With you guys, is it a delicate balance?
It is a delicate balance. We have to make sure we manage our guys in their off times. Most of our guys, they work almost too hard at times, so we have to make sure, especially off season, hey, you got to go take a week or 2 off. During the week, we are mandated we have to take a day off, and we really try and make sure that our guys are actually doing that because they have to focus on their mind and their body and their soul. And sometimes in our sport, getting in there and grinding on it every single day can just wear you into the dirt. It can, and so we have to really manage that. And we're that sport where I honestly don't even have to put practice out. I mean, our guys are there from kind of sun up to sundown without anybody asking them to be there, and that's when you have kind of what you're looking for in a winning program, and that's just guys that want to be there. They're gym rats, and they're just trying to get better.
If I didn't ask you this last question, I would have some people get really upset at me. So they know he's a great golfer, fabulous coach. Give me a key. You got golfers back there at home. They may be 15 years old or 115. Some of us, all different body types and injuries. Give them one key that you think might be most important for the golfers.
Oh boy. Well, first of all, if you play 4 or 5 times a year, man, just go have fun. I mean, just go grab your beer and go have fun. Hit it as hard as you can hit it, and just go have fun. If you're actually working on your game and practicing on it, that's a good question. It's pretty.
Well, it's pretty broad.
It's pretty vague. I'll start with chipping. In the amateur world, I see a lot of issues in the chipping, pitching, bunker game. Everybody talks about their hands and their arms and how they're going to do things, and it's so much about your body. Make sure that your body is not staying still, because usually what ends up happening is your body shuts down, and then that's what creates all the issues. So you'll see folks chili dip, sculling it, whatever. It's usually because their body just stays super still. And you got to keep going. You got to keep moving on through there. So that'd be my one tip.
And that applies to those of us who, I think I hit 6 greens in regulation last year. And so that applies to all you guys who don't hit many greens and gals. Hey, Brian, congratulations.
Thank
You've
you.
just done a fabulous job, and good luck to you and the Sooners as you head. And folks, come out and see them at the Norman Regional and then on to the NCAA as you hope and plan.
Yes, thank you.